Just out of interest, Sheikh, you know when you make these judgment calls about it's most likely this or it's a typo,
Hmm.
does that make something authoritative, or is that just an extrapolation which can be used as a secondary supporting evidence?
No, what do you mean? We have so many isnaads of the same statement.
I see, I see. So what I mean is that, for example, if someone was to say, okay, you've said this is
But
Yazid as
but
due to
but you compare with other asanid, and so you never see that name. So it's apparently a mis copy error. You can judge by comparing various texts. What's the error? Like in this one, the name doesn't exist. Such a man does not exist. But in the other snad, we have the other one, the name instead of Yazid, Zubayd, or something like that.
I see, I see. So it's an easy connection
If
to make.
immediately it is maybe the copier at the time was a dyslexic or something like that. These things are obvious. That's done everywhere. In Christianity, in Judaism, correcting things which evidently copier mistake. Either you have some word which makes no sense, but with transposing letters, it has sense, and came another copy, then it's clear. It must be a copy error, and so on. And it's plenty in every textual tradition.
So when you publish any of this, dissenters don't say, "Oh, how did you reach this conclusion?" They can independently.
I use your brain if you have any. Nothing can be done. It's basic textual critique and textual analysis. Yeah. Sometimes transposing two letters will be cause things to become strange meaning, like hasara or sahara. Sometimes the hasara, which means embrace something, like carry a rock, hasarahu ila sadri, in the hadith of carrying stones and rocks for building the masjid and so on. And then in some forms, you know, saharahu. Sahar mean melting. It makes no sense. Melting a rock to your chest. What does this mean? No sense. And some versions say hasarahu, hasar, embraced it through here. It's clear what's there.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Sheikh, what Rashid was saying, sometimes it does give that vibe kind of thing when we're reading your your treatise, because obviously you're critiquing the chains of narration. So even though many times you do it like a muhaddith kind of the way criticizing the chain of narration, but sometimes it gives like some sort of when you use like certain words that's been used, like most likely it's because of this. So that makes more like conjecture kind of thing. Because there's no even in Jarr or Ta'deel, you should be using authentic, strong evidence to prove your point. That this chain of narration. That's what I think. I figured that too when Rashid picked that up. It was the same thing going through my mind too. And sometimes we do pick. I do see that too in a lot of.
Record immediately and ask at the same time, so we can correct it. Okay. No, there must be some reason for that. Sometimes there's a compelling evidence by other narrators. That's the reason to go all other channels.
Okay.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, but it still gives like a vibe of like conjecture kind of thing, and not like usually in other places you do say this narrator is like specifically this is the reason this person is like you do jara, which is mufassal, that sort of thing, like it's clear jara, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but the situation is different. It has
right. I understand.
It has to be a grounding.
Right. Even as long as your premise, your foundation premise is proven, you're just building the.
But if that's done, say the various isnad and come to the conclusion, you see it.
Okay.
Sometimes you get the conclusion, you see the matan is blatantly in error or blatantly fabrication.
Correct.
Then you say, disregarding the isnad, it doesn't pass. The matan is synced. It doesn't be correct. But disregarding, we go back, see who is responsible for this stinky hadith. Then we find a man, some people accused of being weak, some people say thiqa, we say, and one analyst, ancient analyst, say he's a kadhab, say, that's right, he's a kadhab. This is fabrication. Put that together, matan and isnad matan, until you synchronize things. It's never arbitrary.
My question is, when we're doing a matan criticism, is the level of probability of subjectivity comes more compared to
generally, but if something blatant in error, it can't be.
Okay.
contradicting Quran, necessity of reason right away.
Right.
Like, for example, we have a hadith, say, you have to obey the rulers. Even if they command haram. And Yom al-Qiyamah, you talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the hadith saying like that, boldly. And it says, and you say, you have commanded us to obey, and we obeyed. Then Allah says, yes, I commanded you, you are right. Allah never commanded people to obey in disobedience. This contradicts the divine meaning and contradicts the hadith mutawatir. Whoever commands you with ma'asiyah, don't obey him. So, on ground, when it says it, because if Allah command you, obey the ruler, even if he disobeys me, or give you a command, means obey me by disobeying me. That's a contradiction. It's impossible. It comes from a divine. It comes from someone in the mental institution, yes, but not from Allah or in divine being. And the other hadith which is mutawatir, who command you with ma'asiyah, don't obey him. So that together means that matan is fabricated. It can't be. Then we say it's not who is the responsible one. That will be the second job. Then you find someone there's this disagreement about him and things like that, and others support the thiqah. Then you have to put it in the head of someone who's on the balance of evidence is the responsible one. Sometimes the whole isnad is excellent except one man. I was discussing with one of Shawab Hadith, and then isnad Muhammad bin Fadl ibn Yusuf or something like that. And then on top of him, going to the Prophet alayhi salam, all of them first class. And he has been accused of weak, so only Abu Hatim al-Razi said he's a matruk and kadhab. Abu Hatim is right, this is the kadhab one. It cannot be otherwise. Because the Matn is clear. Let me remember what was the Matn. Something about qadar, which is balantajar, contradicts the Quran. So you have to work on balance there. This is all on balance of evidences. Unless something like that necessary comes, then you have to reject the Matn.
Like, because Jarh Ta'dil is all about like balancing the
No, it's more than that. Collecting other asanid, other ways and so on, except the one who knows him, met with him, discussed with him, sorted him out. That's the first one to be mentioned. Now, you get me an example. Mu'alla bin Abd al-Rahman, you find many people say he's accused of being kadhab. Now, I searched everywhere. The main thing there, one is that Sahih ibn Ain said, we asked about him, said, the best I can say about him, that when he was dying, they said, ask Allah for forgiveness. He said, I will ask, but why should I ask? I've done everything to go to Jannah by fabricating 70 hadith in the virtue of Al-Hasan. Or Hasan Hussein, or something like, or Ali ibn Abi Talib. If you read the hadith at face value, it must be a kadhab, it's unacceptable. But the question, we should ask you if you are critical. Now, the ancient, most ancient one did not bother even looking second look. But question, was Yahya ibn Ma'in present at the death of this man? No. So how would he come to know? Someone told him. Is this someone in the death? Is he reliable? He just mentioned something someone told him. Most likely one told him this is so nonsensical that one told him must be a goddamn liar. That's it. The moment you strike that out, all the accusations of Abdullah ibn Rahman fly away. Then you check his hadith, like Ibn Adi, who usually mention many hadith. Ibn Adi say, I didn't suffer in hadith anything which is extremely odd or wrong. Maybe two or three hadith, they maybe you can question them, but it may be from his sheikh. But because his sheikh is generally accepted as no problem about him and not accused of tashayyu', so this one passed. But may he have errors? Who said the thiqah has no errors? So many things. So they conclude, and then if you turn it around correctly, you say what is the weak point, and then you just change the qualification from da'if or from questionable into actually a reliable thiqah. And you find others who say he's thiqah. Like for this Mu'alla bin Abd al-Rahman al-Wasiti, one of his students who narrates for him directly, and he studied him a long time, in every isnad roughly, and in many other situations, say, the narrator from the man is called, I forgot his name in my mind, is a well-established narrator. This one is beyond doubt, with absolute agreement. And he's also a student of Ma'in. Al-Daqiqi said, Ali ibn Hamd told me, and he was wallahi very thiqah. So this is a student who sat with him, knew him.
Mm.
Well, Ahmed Ma'in claimed he said this in his death. Were you there? If you witness there, fine, then we can accept. And many lampses like that go. Maybe Ahmed believed that man who brought him, but he did not really choose to use his brain properly. That's it. Just clouded by sectarianism, clouded by he's not contemporary with the man. Most likely he never met him. If he said, I saw his hadith, it's nothing, etc., or mention one munkar hadith, yes. Then you can scrutinize that hadith. Yeah?
Right. At times, the muhaddith, they have their own biases too. That comes into play.
Naturally,
That's why,
nobody has no
naturally,
bias.
exactly.
But
And then
there's very,
later on, people do critically analyze it. And then
there
they
is
come to a
various level of bias. There is the
yeah.
bias with sectarian, there is which Ahmed Ma'in is relatively mild in it, relatively mild. And you have extreme bias, which become almost, you feel suspicious that this man is almost a liar. Let me give you an example which will shock you from your feet. The first example is Malik. And the second example is Ahmed Bin Hanbal. If he talk about Imam, and this man has been known to talk against Muawiya, you can immediately conclude that he is, if necessary, he's fabricating something to bring him down to fall. It's a catastrophic. I have so many things there. I don't want to open these painful things unless necessary. I have a complete compilation for that, keeping at the side. If someone on this matter, I'll put it like a shoe in his mouth. It's ready. Narrated by his own son and by his own students who are so in admiration that they think we should burn him. But his bad, like that's Allah working behind the scene in the universe to expose this. Malik also. How we found that he is burned out, especially there's a man called Sandal, Amr Bin Yasar. He was very harsh with Malik. He's slightly older, same generation. And when he was visiting with Abu Ja'far Mansur and so going to Mecca, fatwa of Malik about what's most superior, mut'a or in the Hajj, mut'a or Quran or Salat. His fatwa definite. So this Sandal is having a sharp tongue. He said, it's a funny story, listen to it. He said, you said Ifrad is the best. How do you know that? I am Makki. I know what is called an sack of Makkah. We inherit that from even the small children know it. Afradak Allah. May Allah make his singular. And then in the same session after I said, he could say something on Malik. And then he said, because this one is sharp, Malik is a bit dull. This will be shocking for Malik. They'll be angry with me. But it's there. Narrated by students of the admiring students of Malik. He said, you sometimes miss the truth. Sometimes you make mistake, and some other time do not find the truth. So you miss both ways. You must mistake. He did not know the trick there. He said, all humans are like that. They have that. Sometimes you miss the facts, and sometimes you don't find them. He did, and then after he left, he told him he did not establish what he said. He said this is all you are always in error. Lesson. He was so angry. Now what? Angry is natural. You will get angry for attacks, but to show his ego now his ego and internal kibr exposed. They say, who is this one? Who is the brother of Yahya or Al-A'raj, the Muqri of Mecca, from whom Malik narrated, is older than this Amr Bin Yasar, narrated, and regarding him as thiqa. So that's the next word is that what destroyed Malik, in my point of view. He said, if I knew this man, that he is the brother of this man, I would not narrate from him. So he narrates from people because he doesn't know that he's the brother of someone he doesn't like. That's not the way you should narrate. That's definitely a red line. He crossed the red line of reliability. And then he said, should we respond to him or do something? He said, no, leave him. He's a man who drinks al-khamr, al-khandaris, the old khamr, first class khamr. He's going through the usual, well, most of them told him he drinks nabid, and you know, nabid is the controversial, the drinks which doesn't reach the level of intoxication. So it's permitted. And then he said just a khandaris. And then his student then came with stories. Allah Alam is true or not. If even it's true, it may have a reasonable interpretation. And he said, yes, I know him. In another narration, I know him. He wrote a mushaf and sold it and bought a dog instead. Maybe he's the man living from writing mushafs and selling them. That's his livelihood. And he needs a dog for guarding his house or garden. What's wrong with that? Say, because of that, the student from Malik, who was looking at Malik with open eyes in a state of elation, what does he say? They say, this, therefore, selling a mushaf and buying a dog are related to each other. He connected them in his mind that he sold the mushaf deliberately to buy a dog. So that's how he makes you to feel what he means. So this way, Allah downed him down until Yawm al-Qiyamah and lifted Malik up in the heaven.
SubhanAllah.
If you hear these stories and one or two other stories from Malik, you know what you're doing.
Right.
Someone who has such a big ego, and also Malik was also tribal, tribal and racist.
Yeah, you spoke about them multiple times.
That's well known. That's even Paul Williams, a Muslim brother, discussed that with someone. It's becoming, it stinks everywhere now. But in this question is tribalism. He seems to be proud of being
an Arab.
ابن أصبح from Arab.
Yeah.
So Amr bin Qais هذا المكي Sandal was mocking him, say, if he is from the أصبح, I am from the أمسى. Getting in the morning, then I'm the getting in the evening. Something the أصبح or the أمسى. What are they about? So give you a hint. And he was obviously burning of anger when he received it. So if he sees such a weakness of character, such an inflammatory character, and if you push him with that, he explodes, and so on, you know this man has a problem. And his opinion about other men, at least, he may not fabricate hadith, God forbid, and so on. But also other things, which is very serious, but have been glossed over. That he is not mudallis, he does not drop his sheikh if he's weak and so on. But the sheikh of the sheikh should not be dropped. That's called at least a taswiyah.
That's right. It's very dangerous. Yeah.
Malik does it plenty. Not one or two. Usually they say, someone in defense, is that if he narrates from Thawr ibn Yazid and then jump to Ibn Abbas, everyone knows that he's jumping over Ikrimah. Like, why narrate that if you have any doubt in Ikrimah or you hate him? Most likely he does not like Ikrimah, because Ikrimah is the revolutionary, going to almost extreme. He was Bahanasiyya. The Bahanasiyya are a branch of Sufriya.
Yeah, exactly.
Sufriya Khawarij regard even you can kill women, but not children. Azarif, they kill everyone. Maybe it's like that. That he was Khariji, but he's truthful or something like that.
He's truthful, exactly.
I answer to that. No, that's a bad disease, because it's not a hadith, it's athar from Umar. You know, Umar is a heavy authority. You have to be cautious, because some people regard what Umar says almost like hadith Nabawi. It's wrong, but that's what the people feel. So this hadith, I saw the isnad through Malik and Qadar, which does not represent the point. It's almost Jabr. It does not represent the point of view of Umar. To say how this comes, it's just surprising, because we know from the hadith of Umar that he wanted to say, "Oh Allah, if you have written me under the unhappy ones, erase me." That's one. That's narrated in the book of Tafsir and so on. يمحو الله ويشاء ويثبت عندهم الكتاب. Erase me and write me from the happy one, which is khiyar, is not jabr.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the isnad is excellent there. No doubt, nobody is doubting that from Umar. So how come this one? I found it in another book from another narrator. So the Sheikh of Malik, going to the Sheikh of Malik, well, not Malik way, another way, to Sheikh of Malik. The Sheikh of that Sheikh turned out to be a man who's da'if, and Malik dropped him. Goes to the Tabi'i, then to Umar bin Khattab.
Well, that's how you prove that he does at least taswiyah. That's dangerous. Very
dangerous. The first one is taswiyah. No, he should not have done that one, even. But that's to say it's known, everyone knows, and they don't like him because Khariji or blood shredder or something like that.
Right.
You may find that it's a stinky excuse. Should not do that.
Right.
The correct way to say from and then this guy, you can make a comment. He was taken, or he's advocating bloodshed or something like that.
Right.
You condemn this aspect here. You expose the truth, not hide.
Right.
It must say something. For example, not for that reason, for another reason, it seems to Muslim did not accept Ikrimah. There is no hadith in Muslim coming from Ikrimah.
Hmm.
Bukhari accepted him. I
Hmm.
mean, his name. So it doesn't work this way.
Hmm.
I open the gate of suspicion and so on. Yeah. But in that regard, uncertain mentioning certain story in a twisted way is very dangerous.
Hmm.
A story can be narrated in such a way that be positive or negative. If you choose it to be in the extremely negative way, that indicates some kind of a heart disease, some kind of bias, a dangerous bias. And we're going to the limit of buhtan, of accusing people which not what they did. It's not insult, it's more. It's not ghaiba, it's buhtan. So many things like that. So you have to go all this nightmare of things with time. You learn more as you go, more as you go, more as you go, more as you go. For example, in the current ongoing edition and the review of Tawheed, thorough review, I told the Shabab, Ahmed Bin Hanbal, which I prefixed of the Imam Ahmed Bin Hanbal, he said, "See Imam, take it, just Ahmed Bin Hanbal." I could not be reconciled with what I know about. It's simply intolerable. And sometimes comments about Tasih al-Hadith, which is intolerable. Like, for example, there's a narration also in with good isnad in the later books, the one writing the history of Hanbal. The book's called Sunnah and so on. Goes to before the year 222. Because why? Because the halaqah was the halaqah of the called al-Mu'ayyati. Maybe someone descending from Uqba bin Abu Mu'ayyid. That's it. And died in 222. So was a hadith scholar. And in his halaqah at that time were junior people to him, because he died 222, Ahmed Hanbal 40, so it's like not a student, but in between. It's a friend and student. In this halaqah was al-Mu'ayyati, was the head of the halaqah, that's his halaqah, was Ahmed bin Hanbal, was Yahya ibn Ma'in, and Muawiya. So 4 people are there, or 3, Ibn Abi Khaythama. And then someone asking about Ammar taqtuluhu al-fi'atu al-Baghiya. Maybe this coming from the Khalifa, and they were afraid, maybe. Mentioning the excuse in advance to be objective. And they ask, they say, who said we don't know? Most likely is Ahmed. It has come from 28 ways, 28 Sahabi. None of them is correct. I have studied that. The research will come out. It took 3 months studying, thoroughly checking that. It is not correct, that claim. At least from 6 of the Sahaba, it is even mutawatir as some of them, not only correct. Later in his life, under the pressure of maybe environment, we came to know by the narration of his son and so on, and others present in the halaqah, that said the one of the Sunnah for Khalal or Athram. I have all this, I have all the record that I'm keeping. I'll not dig that until I are forced to. Someone asked him, عمار تقتله في الباغية question mark. Say نعم قتلته في الباغية. ولا أزيد على ذلك. السكوت أسلم. يعني he doesn't want to comment who's the فئة باغية. Is either Muawiya or the other side. And then obviously the problem became bigger at the time of Tawakkul. Tawakkul was Nasibi, and he's the one who destroyed the grave of Hussein ibn Ali in Karbala. It was there, well known. He ordered to be plowed over, turned into a garden and planted, and nobody knows it is till now. The shrine there is just fake one, just invented one. And this was people wrote in the first instance news. I think people write on walls, what they call it, graffiti, graffiti. They were condemning him and swearing against him. Ultimately, the anger accumulated until his own guard, Al-Mutawakkil Abbasi, Khalifa, they rebelled against him and killed him. Obviously, the situation was like that. So the whole environment was boiling against anyone who smells like Nasibi. So obviously, there was pressure on Abdullah. Your father seems to be, no, my father is not Nasibi. Anyway, he came to ask her. That's I've tried to depict my imagination of Bakra, because we have to wear things in context. So he asked, Abdullah asked him, his father, إن الناس تقول, people are saying, look at the formation, Abdullah is his father, and he has to go slow. ان الناس يزعمون انك تتولى يزيد. That you regard yourself Allah is Yazid. You are supporting Yazid. Obviously, Ahmed bin Hanbal knew why his son asking this question. The whole Baghdad and the whole Islamic world is burning with this issue. This after Khalq al-Quran. So the whole situation was a burning situation, geological and historical. Then he answered, وهل يتولى أحد يزيدا أحد يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر بعدما فعله بأهل المدينة؟ هنا أول مرة يقر أنه هذا معلوف ويقيني ما حد ينكره، لأن بعض الحنابلة والوهابيين يقولوا لا هذه كلها قصص مكذوبة. ما مستحيل تكون مكذوبة، معلومة عند كل أهل الحديث بدون استثناء. قالوا لماذا لا تلعنه؟ أكيد الناس حكي شيء عبد الله يقول أبوك ما بيلعنوه ولا يسمع عنه شيء عنه. فإيش رد أحمد بن حنبل؟
English.
What's the answer of Ahmed bin Hanbal when he said, why didn't you curse Yazid then? If you think that's what he did to the people of Medina, nobody can lie with him. First of all, he should clarify what he did to Al-Mani. What's the classification word? It's an act of kufr. No doubt about that. But he did not. Okay, we say he's a man short in fiqh, although they call him faqih. Right. And the Islam say, why did you curse him then? They say, when did you find one who is indulged in cursing?
Yeah.
Run away from that. Run away. Because
that's very popular from
the next step, who installed him on the neck of the
right.
That his idol is there, Muawiya. You can conclude between the lines also. You have to use a bit of brain.
Sheikh, maybe we could talk about this later. I brought this up 2-3 years ago. I don't know if that some scholars have did research that in Bukhari, the narration of Taqtul Baghiya, this narration, they said this actually did not exist. This part did not exist in the early manuscripts of Bukhari. It was added on later on.
It exists in one manuscript from the one
right.
Bukhari.
But they say they say it was in Hashia. That's what they say, and then they added it on and later on. That's why.
It's not in Hashia. That's not true. It is, but independent of that, the Hadith narrated many other books connected with the
right. Exactly. Yeah.
And many with many extent. It's not better than that in full. That's number one. Secondly, Al-Hafiz wanted to save the day. So he claimed what is narrated, which is worse for them, by the way, was narrated, but they think they can't find an escape. It says, وَيْحَ عَمَّارْ يَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ وَيَدْعُونَهُ إِلَى النَّارِ. Why they accepted that? See, nobody can escape that. That's all Nusakh al-Bukhari and all other hadith also, with the Ammar. Because they thought this way they can come to this piece and say, actually, he talks about the kuffar of Quraysh.
That's exactly what they say.
That's
exactly what they say.
Okay, yes. Hadith Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, drop it in the rubbish. Okay, agreed. We'll get you from
because Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, they say that.
No. Drop it in the rubbish. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Five other Sahaba, al-Muslimin, etc. They bring it into Ammar al-Baghiya. And one of them, Salama, mentioned also يدعوهم إلى الجنة ويدعونه إلى النار with additional support. So what to do with that? It's just trying to save Muawiyah. That is all standing on the idol of Muawiyah.
And the ta'wil that they make of that Ammar is calling them to Jannah and they're calling him to hellfire. It's like it's happening in Medina.
It's worse than Ammar.
Yeah, but they try to get away with it as the first part. They try to.
Research is almost finished now. We're just making the introduction.
Yeah. I just recently looked into a detail what they say. So they say that Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, because Bukhari dropped this part of the narration because he says that I did not hear it from the Prophet of Allah.
He said that. He said it.
Yeah.
My conclusion is that he did not hear that directly, and because he admitted that in another channel. From Abu Nadra, by the way, of Abu Nadra, he did not hear it, but hear it from someone better me, Al-Qatada. Al-Qatada is superior to Abu Sa'id in every respect. And he's rank, he's a Faris, he's a Badri, etc.
Exactly.
Top class. Anyway, that, most likely, it's unlikely that he heard only the piece from the other one, because the sentence takes only 20 seconds, 10 seconds. Most likely, while they're building the masjid, Abu Sa'id was there. He saw the commotion. He came, and then what had the commotion? Then Abu Qatada told him,
right,
this happened, and the Messenger of Allah told Ammar say, وَيْحَكْ تَقُولُ أَنْتَ تَدْعُونَ all of it. why this other piece is not narrated the hadith of Abu Nadra? This is Abu Nadra or Abu Qilaba? One of them, because the other narrator dropped because the most condemning one.
Right. And he brought
why he dropped it? And we have to know why they dropped it. Why it doesn't come in this one half and this half.
Very dangerous. Yeah, that last part is like really.
The other one, which Hafiz al-Hajar take as an argument to try to justify Bukhari. So the argument he brought make Bukhari even worse if it is true. It's not true. It is in Bukhari.
It is in Bukhari.
Because the last one who heard from Bukhari, or the only one who heard from him twice,
Farabri,
Al-Farabri. And then in the year 254, 2 years before the death of Bukhari, he heard it directly in the last dictation, and it is in Farabri. So it settles the issue, but independent.
But we don't have the manuscript of Farabri.
No, let me tell you.
Manuscript of Farabri, do we?
Don't worry about Farabri. Al-Bukhari doubles rubbish. Go to that.
We have other chains. I'm just saying, like, specifically in this topic. We have other chains, obviously, as you spoke about that.
Yeah. But no, even all of that. Drop all of them in the rubbish. Go just to hadith Abu Sa'id coming from the other channel. Not through Abu Akrima and Ali ibn Abdullah ibn Abbas. Because both heard this from. Ibn Abbas specifically sent the two, his son, still almost just out of age, and his freed slave, Akrima. Go and hear from Abu Sa'id. And they went here from Abu Sa'id. Yeah.
Where is this narration? The one
is what will come. It is here.
I'm saying, do you remember the book, the other part?
Tons of books. Tons of books. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Abu Qilaba. Why did Abu Qilaba drop that? And relied on that one. Because it is very condemning. And Abu Qilaba has an inclination to Nasib, to Sham. Because he recognizes that that's a catastrophic one. The catastrophic one. So he said, I just mentioned the first one. So that disease is in a level, even tabi'i, even in some Sahaba.
Exactly.
Yes. But you have to do thorough and cross-referencing until you get things squeezed so that there's no escape. But each one is in a balance. This is a balance, this is a balance, this is a balance, and then they cannot synchronize anyway unless you drop all of them, and that's not possible for the independent narration. And in that situation, the narration ending with this and this and this, I verified that they belong to other countries and they never met. So we are stuck. Put them together, you know who's the culprit. In the case of Bukhari, the excuse of Hafiz is completely wrong. He wanted to say the common people in I think in Egypt say or Mecca أراد أن يكحلها فأعمى. He wanted to give it an eye, what they call mascara, then he blinded him. Plugged his eye. So he wanted to do a mascara to make it look beautiful, then he turned him into blindness instead.
Sheikh, the thing is, the reason they use all their like force for Bukhari is that if they could take it out, like, because they have this, this so-called consensus, like all the marfu are authentic, and there's the ijma on that, the Sunnis at least. I'm saying, so they try to, the moment they get it down from Bukhari, they could bring on other books. It's easy for them to clean out the whole mess.
It's not easy. It's to come in a generation where idolization of certain...
Exactly. That's definitely... That's very true. This is so true.
And that became such a consensus, nobody dared talk. That's the reason Khatib al-Baghdadi, when he wrote about errors and kida, he said he found about 70 errors of Bukhari and Daraqutni also. He needed to write almost 5 pages excuses, and Bukhari is not infallible. And he, as a human being, he misses something, and he was memorizing a million isnad, million hadith, and so on. So no wonder some hadith have missed him. And he needed to make a long excuse. No need for that if the people were not becoming muqallid and idol worshipper, essentially. That should not have happened in the first place.
The question, like the tanqeed, the criticism of Dar Qutni and other scholars on Bukhari, they said that the other scholars have answered. Are those answers sufficient? Or I
don't read them because any hadith I'm interested to show that it has I have the independent evidence on my way. But I may look also to, I didn't come to them in any way, any research seriously. The main things which have to be attacked are 2 hadith or 3. The hadith لا ينفعكم ولا أم امرأة from Abu Bakr, which is proper, definitely for other reasons. And the other one, and Abu Bakr never stressed it. I mentioned several times, but the whole research take maybe about 20, 30 pages at all. The other one is the إن ابن هذا سيد وسيصلح بين فئتين عظيمتين ومسلمين.
Hassan al-Basri's tadlis and all that in that narration.
Not only that, no, but
and the sons of Abu Bakr, you said.
And the sons of Abu Bakr are almost certainly the
liars. Yeah.
But we can cross it with other things. Abu Bakr was never had that madhab. He did not join the people of Jamal, not because of that. Because his madhab was that if 2 Muslims fight, you should abstain, whatever it is. He did not make the clear fiqh distinction between fighting with the legitimate imam and the people who are rebelling against him and fighting generally. He misunderstood the meaning of the hadith. That's it. He did not understand the meaning of Baghiya. He did not refer to the ayah and comprehend it. You have to have more comprehensive view. I admit killing and so on is bloodshed is extreme, definitely. Like you have to have more comprehensive. This issue needs a more comprehensive fiqh.
Sheikh, and what's interesting is that when it comes to the sulh of Al-Hasan and Muawiya, he never, and nobody else corroborating this evidence, nobody ever used this as evidence. Oh, Hassan, look, the Prophet of Allah has said something about you.
Bukhari was fooled, most likely it fits their madhab or fits the muhaddithin. I want to be their darling, because Bukhari was always from the community of muhaddithin at his time, a little bit out and odd. Because he was in the issue of Quran, not completely agreeing with Hanbal. The issue there, Bukhari mentioned the isnad with حدثني Abu Bakr. That's the word with حدثني. This is an error from one narrator, later narrator, Sheikh Uthman RA, and there are evidence in the isnad said that he is in error. So he was fooled by this حدثني only, which is not well established.
And on the contrary, the Taqtul al-Baghiya was so popular that even during the time of the civil war, they brought this up. Like, do you know?
In the Bahth, you will see how it should be done, inshallah.
Yeah. And even all the narrations, usually that are like, the center of controversy, even like Man Kuntu Mawla, these things were used even at the time of the companions too, and the Tabi'een. It was not something that it was not.
That's always that would be,
but does have this issue.
But the one of the Baghiya is essentially one who almost broke the back of Ahmed Bin Hanbal. What he said in the Mu'iti Halaqa, although there may be an excuse there, that the one who asked initially is someone sent by the Khalifa or a spy, so they were afraid. You may find an excuse there. But later when he affirmed, it is safe. قتلته الفئة الباغية كما قال رسول الله. معناه he is well established. You cannot deny it. It's impossible to deny. Let's face it. If you see the research,
Yes, if this research is, as you say, like the way you put it, this is going to be the coup de grace for Ahmed Bin Hanbal,
I don't mention Ahmed Bin Hanbal. I just mentioned it casually, just as a footnote.
Right.
I don't need it there. I don't need that. I mention these things only if needed. But if someone come with some BS, we stop him there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it's good to be in written form, because for the future generations.
This is a subsection of the 4th volume, current 4th volume, maybe it will be first current 4th chapter, which is about proof of Tawheed and so on, about telling the news of the future in advance. And we made a fundamental condition of that is that the prophecy must be available and written or well established before the fulfillment. Otherwise, it may be fabricated. And my point of view is that after synchronizing all of that, it is impossible not to be available before the fulfillment. The number of narration and the various channels and the various countries and the various narrators make it impossible. It was there and people discussed it before Bakra Ammar was killed. No doubt about that. So from this aspect, it's important. It's more important than Ammar Taqul. It's important. That's a prophecy of Prophet. For me, it's more important than that. In that, we discussed, there's a mention of the famous story, Muawiya. We did not kill him. The one who brought him killed him. And the answer of Ali, it mentioned casually. I said, I'm not going to comment on that. Maybe
Yeah.
Ali is the Baghiya Muawiya, but he's killed by one of the two is Baghiya. That's all of it. As the evidence of prophethood. That's more important things for me. The other
And lastly,
is
Sheikh, what is the tafsir of being Baghiya? What is in Arabic when it's used in that context?
transgress, crossing the limit of justice.
Okay. So, okay, I see. Okay.
Cross the limit of justice.
Okay. The limit. Yeah, that's the Arabic. Yeah. All right, Sheikh. Inshallah, we'll continue with the.
حرم ربي الفاحشة ما ظهر منها البطن.
Right.
والإثم
There's
والبغي.
plenty of examples in the Quran too.
That's it. Don't ask about what's Baghi. Baghi is never recommended. No. Even the word اعتداء may be used in positive sense. فاعتدى عليك فاعتدوا عليه بمثل يعني as a retaliation. But never بغى عليه وتبغوا عليه بمثل is not allowed to do Baghi. Has to be settled by cause or settled by the imam or the leadership or the state authority, the legitimate authority. So it's worse.
They make ta'wil of that too. They said the Baghi in this part is like Muawiya was asking for too much in the sense that he was not in the place to ask for the blood indemnity of
that's their ta'wil, which not get them anywhere. That's by the way, if we show that Muawiya invoked false witnesses and perjury and participating himself fabricating a hadith, which another research is now finished, will become soon, inshallah. Very soon. We're just writing the foreword in a tight way.
Calling him Ziyad ibn Abi as his brother and all that. Those are like
no. Before that, leave that. That's all later. Doesn't matter. This is all later. It's only established as a perjury, as a liar. Also before that. By the theater he played in Marj Taluja in Ilya when the army meted, and then he was fabricating a situation with two others. Sorry, get it as a surprise. Anyway, this is 1,000 years back. You can wait 1 year. Just wait a couple of weeks. That's all.
Inshallah. Jazakallahu khair.
So this methodology is very difficult to develop. It needs time. It needs really to be critical with both sides. Does not mean that I'm not biased. Nobody can be absolutely unbiased. But luckily, coming from both houses, as a young man, a child in Arabia, it was almost God-given that Ahmed Bin Hanbal is the Imam, and the way the producer that Allah supported Islam by Abu Bakr in the Ridda and by Ahmed Bin Hanbal in the Fitna. It's almost an idol. And then the more we go, it becomes catastrophic. And they tried to avoid the issue of Muawiyah until later it became unavoidable. I knew actually that. I didn't say that except 10 years ago, because it was clear this reference is fundamental for the current treachery and rulership and the crimes. So we have to unpack it. There's no way to escape. But I knew that when I was in prison in Hajr, in Saudi Arabia, before leaving, about 9 months before leaving. At the end phase, it was 6 months. The last 3 months, they were just asking questions, coming and pretending they want to learn from my advice and wisdom, playing Mr. Good Cop after being good cop by cop for some time. Now only good cop. Okay. So, and that's because the internal politics are Saudi, by the way, not because they wanted to hear anything good or no, they don't care about that. Is the following. A question came from the minister there in a fax, and this is Shibreen. She won't forget to say, here's a question. How come that you talk about Muawiyah and say this and this and this, etc.? Which evidences you have? I told him, listen, Abu Abdullah, listen, because I covered up that I know his real name. Listen, Abu Abdullah, don't be upset, but this question cannot be coming from you. You are not the one who asked the question. You are not. You are ignorant. This is coming from a ministry. His face became red and accepted because it's clearly he's a donkey. When I signed his donkeyship, they took with them. They imprisoned my books, and most of them, half of them, they're from Ibn Taymiyyah. And one of his questions in time past before that, say, "What is this Ibn Taymiyyah? Is he Mu'tazili?" I just laughed. I couldn't say. The Imam, the leader of Salafi, and the founding scholar of Al Saud. Where are you? Anyway, so said, this issue of Muawiyah is not from you. Answer them, said, Dr. Mas, I tell you, would like to tell you, leave Muawiyah in his grave, because if we dig it out, snakes and scorpions will come out. Leave them. Never any question about Amr.
That's true.
So I know from that, but it caused controversy. I thought at the time we can avoid. We just focus on the da'wah and founding the things on firm, absolutely firm basis. Rulership, sovereignty of the law, accounting rule, as we are studying now, all these things. That's what I thought. But after the Arab Spring and so on, it became very clear. Muawiyah became the symbol of rulership and the model ruler of Islam and so on. The one who's shrewd and politician and so on. Yeah, he may have.
They made like the most expensive drama on life of Muawiyah recently. Like I think 2 years ago. It was huge.
Yeah.
I think the most the production cost like hundreds of millions.
$100 million.
It's crazy.
So it became unavoidable. You cannot avoid it. Really not avoid it. For example, recently there was a exchange. I was not participating directly, but I was telling Abu Hashim, Sultan Abdali, to answer this way. One guy called Faiz Al-Thani, from the rulers. He is a PhD, regarding an Islamic scholar. He was answering about the prisoners of the business and so on. But there's no problem with that. Muawiyah did make a conclusion with the Romans and make a treaty with them temporarily. So he can attend to other politics, meaning attend to fight the Muslims in Safin. That's what he did before Safin. And Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. So Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, we understand he is the Khalifa coming and agreed that he is a founder of Arab nationalism and racism and so on. It may go, but someone can say, okay, you can condemn him as much as you like, he's not a Sahabi. But Muawiyah as an example. So I asked Al-Abdul to answer him, okay, we may understand that you devoted to the idol of Muawiyah, but how come Abdul Malik ibn Marwan is involved? A first-rate criminal who bombed the Kaaba, hammered the Kaaba with manjaniq.
Exactly. Yeah.
How can you invoke him? So people become desensitized against clear kufr and aligning with the kuffar.
Exactly. Subhanallah. That's true.
So that it became no way. We cannot. It's impossible to leave this man in his grave. We have to dig out the scorpions and the snakes.
And that's a key thing. You know, many people ask this question: why do you always keep on bringing Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan? It's not Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan. What has led to afterwards through his time? It still stains this ummah. That's the thing.
Worse than that, what we have established now, cross-referencing all stories about the last days of Uthman and so on, almost certainly it points that the one who's behind his killing, the plot, is Muawiyah himself. He's the killer.
Of who?
Muawiyah.
No, of who? Killing who?
Uthman.
That case, yeah, that is a possibility.
And that not possible with evidences. Now we have collected all evidences, cross-referencing everything.
I would love to see that.
Until now, they were able to cover up with the story that someone came on a camel carrying a letter, and it seems to be as if he wanted to be detained, going back and forth in the horizon. And they were suspicious that the revolutionary coming from Egypt, they negotiated with Uthman, and we have with the Sahih Isnad in the Tabari that Ali was the mediating one, was helping to settle things, and ultimately they settled, and Uthman praised them highly. And who pushed Uthman at last to get out of his slumber and disobey Bani Umayyah? Because Bani Umayyah is the one who brought his downfall.
Yeah.
That's clear. Marwan and so on, bad advice, etc. And he is an old man, weak, and he was resisting any way to correct from Ali ibn Abi Talib. Anyway, ultimately, the one who pushed him to work with Ali ibn Abi Talib and save himself and try to save the Ummah? You will not believe.
Abdullah bin Sa'd ibn Salah?
No. Abdullah Naila bint al-Farafisa. The one is from
his wife. His wife, yes.
His wife.
That's
the magic of
she did, yes. She did told him, yeah. But Sheikh, the funny thing is that when Uthman was getting advice from the three I guess advisors at that time of his, Muawiyah, Marwan, and Abdullah bin Sa'd.
gave the best advice.
Right. The better advice came from Abdullah bin Sa'd ibn Sarah. Marwan was so stupid as he was an idiot.
As
He was
usual,
like,
but
kill them all.
Muawiya gave us
Kill all the
sneaky-
and Muawiya was a politician. He's like, send them to
Send
the
them-
war in Syria.
to fight and just get rid of them by
Subhanallah,
the same politics of the current time.
Exactly.
So the character is in political level and real advice. But now Uthman praised them and wrote with them letter with the new Amir, shows, etc., etc. They were going back quite far away from Medina. They caught this guy. All Masadir, except few, Ibn Ishaq, do not mention his name. Why? Maybe he's lost in history. This is a very important person. They took him with themselves and trusted him that when he went to Medina, and they because they were not sharp and intelligent, they don't have a forensic police background. So they were thinking first that who is the one who wrote the letter? Must be Marwan, because Marwan had the seal over Uthman. You know that.
Right.
Another odd narration which tipped the balance and made the whole picture differently. Who guessed the one who was carrying the letter?
I don't know who was the person.
Abu al-A'war al-Sulami.
And he's related to Muawiya?
Auf ibn Sufyan, the one killed in Ahzab by Messenger of Allah, the one who was in Mecca with Abu Sufyan all the time. The one who came with Abu Sufyan, did mischief in Medina and gave them aman and kicked him out. The one who received the Jewish delegation with Hayy ibn Akhtab, the father of Safiya, and was taking them like a tour guide in Mecca. He's one of the staunchest allies of Abu Sufyan. And was with him and so guiding with it. So he's very close to him. A secretive man who closes his mouth and stabs in the back. This is the man of Muawiya, there's no doubt. It doesn't belong anywhere. So even Muawiya did not trust the stupid Marwan ibn Hakam. So where get the seal? No problem. He received a letter from Uthman and the Sham had excellent jewelry and they trust a seal. That's not high. It's not high technology, especially in Damascus with those jewelers and those calligraphers and so on. It's easy.
Right.
It's easy.
SubhanAllah.
But the details is in the finalization in a complete book about the whole situation, introduction to the end. To make it academically sound. Otherwise, you will be just stabbing in the dark.
Right.
So that you have to get all narration and balance them. But also that was known actually in that time. The one who most suspect of that is Yazid ibn Abi Hayyib, the Egyptian scholar, the black one. His father is African, I think, either from Nuba or from the depths of Africa. Anyway, Yazid ibn Habib narrates from his sheikh Iyad ibn Abdullah ibn Sa'd ibn Yasar the following: when the catastrophe happened, Abdullah ibn Sa'd ibn Yasar left Egypt. He was in Egypt and he departed, and he had that the delegation was coming, and they went back, and that has happened. So he left Egypt and went to Bayt al-Maqdis. So some of his entourage and son said, so why don't you go to Ali? Say Ali is so loaded against me and hate me, and all the he will get me and kill me directly. That's no escape from that.
Right.
Why don't you join Muawiya? Did you lose your mind? I'm translating in the general sense. How can I go to some who loved to see Muawiya killed? That's what it is. Abdullah ibn Sa'd ibn Yasar. Yazid ibn Habib believed him and followed the same traces, and they identified the one who killed him, and that he was living in Damascus under Muawiya, having a life salary, relaxing all the rest of his life, paid for killing Uthman. And he mentioned that Ibn Habib. So we have to get this narration also and scrutinize with other things. So it's not this or this. Concerning Muhammad ibn Bakr, he went in.
No, Sheikh, you're saying that Abdullah ibn Sa'd ibn Sarah had something to do with this too, or no?
No. He was going to Bayt al-Maqdis, into seclusion. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. He rectified himself towards the end of his life.
Yeah, but he secluded himself from both parties. I told him, why don't you go to Ali and explain? Say, Ali will not give me a chance. For him, a warrior, he will kill me immediately. But he is exaggerating my idea, but he's completely afraid now. Clearly.
Right.
All his world is collapsing. Or then go to Muawiya, say, are you crazy? You want to go to a man who loves that Uthman goes be killed?
Right.
Yazid Habib sorted that out and have various narration telling him who was in Medina at the time, who did that day, and he said it is Fulani. The name is there in the documents also. And he was living in Moscow, a luxurious life with a monthly salary or yearly salary from Muawiya until he died.
Right.
But you have to get all these narrations. Do you ever hear that before? No, you didn't hear before. So
No.
you have to get all of chance for narration. Then the picture will become clear. The genuine in Ahl Sunnah is the one who makes everything obscure. That's it.
When it comes to Mushajat, the Sahaba, that's their thing. That's their manhaj.
That's their disease.
Yeah, that's their disease, not manhaj.